Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the brand new Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H Figuarts Dragon Ball Super Superhero Premium Bandai exclusive orange Piccolo figure. Very happy to finally have this one. This is one of my most anticipated figures of the year, right along with Beast Gohan. Reviewed that almost 2 months ago. I got mine pretty early. I had to wait for this particular guy, pretty much with everyone else, because I did not get him from Nin-Nin-Game, who got it really early. I got mine just from Premium Bandai. So, I'm still happy to have it either way. This looks really cool. I thought the orange Piccolo form in the movie was actually kind of sick, and Piccolo is one of my favorite characters, so I was definitely going to get this. Especially because I was also getting Beast Gohan. Enough rambling. Let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. This is a wider box, but you'll notice that it's still kind of thin here. I think it's almost the same, like, thinness, that's not even a word, as some of the more standard Tamashii Nation stuff. As you see here, it has the figure in the box, images on the side, on the right side. You also see orange Piccolo, the text on the left. You see some of the accessories. That's a really cool shot of the actual figure. We zoom in going on in here. This was made in China. We do have the Toei animation logos, as well as the Dragon Ball Super Superhero logo, web exclusive logo as well. You also have the Tamashii Nations Bandai logos and the quality sticker. You can't really see it that well right now. But also it says ages 15 and up. On this side, there's not much going on here. It's a little hard to see, but it's like this gold type of lettering for orange Piccolo right there. And then it just says S.H Figuarts Orange Piccolo. It's going to be pretty similar on the other side. You guys are very familiar with these packaging. The type of packaging that we have here, I should say. On this side, different images. This time, the actual figures in black and white on these panels. Now, if we look on the top, it's just a continued image of the screaming face that was right here. On the bottom here, you see where it says S.H Figuarts Orange Piccolo and the figure right there with the grinning face. So that's really cool. Now on the back, again, a pretty wide shot here. You have a lot of different images of some of the different accessories. The Kamehameha effects piece that you're going to give to Gohan. And then you can see it actually posed with Beast Gohan on the top there. Turning down the brightness a little bit so you can see more of that. On the back here, again, ages 15 and up. This is actually the Bluefin sticker here, so they've translated everything that's supposed to be said here. Bandai Namco, as well as the barcode in case you need it, which you don't really need to because this was a Premium Bandai exclusive. You can't really get it anymore, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. And here's the figure out of the packaging. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this figure. I think they did a really great job here. It's not perfect. I have some nitpicks with this particular figure, especially for the price you're paying for this particular one. But if I'm being honest, I might like it a little bit more than Beast Gohan. Just a little bit, though. Let's take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So two things. One, sorry for my nasty-ass thumbs, but also, the instruction manual for this figure is also inside the box. Again, I'm not going to be able to show it. I'm going to fumble around like I usually do when I try to do that. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below, if I can find it, of the digital version of the instruction manual for this figure. I want to talk about Gohan's accessories first, though. These are these slight gripping hands that we've gotten with Gohan in the past, as well as Beast Gohan this year. Pretty sure they come with those. So these will work with both normal Ultimate Gohan and Beast Gohan. They have a peg, as you see right there, meant for the Kamehameha effects piece. So let's go ahead and find the port for that. You just port that in like so, and voila, you can make that work. I don't have the placement of the hand exactly right, but you can kind of place it almost wherever you want with that. The Kamehameha effects piece is similar to how they've used to do it, but it is different. So in the past, with these beam pieces that stick out, they're each a different shape and a different size, so you would just match it with the corresponding size, like if this was a circle, if this was a semicircle. Now it's all pretty much the exact same size, or shape, I should say. The difference being that 4 of these are the same size, or 4 of these, and then they're like a little bit shorter, and then 2 of these on the ends here are larger. So all you really need to pay attention to is this is a larger port. Plug that in. And the thing is, you know, now you don't have to fumble with trying to figure out where exactly everything's going to go. You can pretty much just determine the sizes of these things and put in whichever one you want. So that way you're saving time doing that. I didn't mind it before, but I think it's actually a little bit better now. I do like that we have a more clear plastic at the end of these beam pieces going into a little bit of blue there. Not a little bit, actually a good amount. These are stiffer plastic, so be careful on accidentally breaking these. Again, 4 of these are a little bit shorter and 2 of these are a little bit longer. It's molded in this blue, but the actual orb piece here has really great detailing, and the blue on there looks really good. So I dig this a lot. I'm also going to go ahead and show off what this figure looks like with the the Gohan with that accessory if you want to see what he looks like doing the Kamehameha effect. So that is really sick. Now, with this particular orange Piccolo, which, I mean, there's only one orange Piccolo. I don't know why I said it like that. It's all head sculpts, not face plates, which I'm fine with. This is a right-looking grin face. That is really cool. The smirk on there is really nice. The sculpting underneath the mouth, where it's like above the chin too, that's really sick. I really like the printing on the eyes. I kind of wish it was looking forward a little bit more, but I mean, looking off to the side, that's okay. I think they're doing that to match the grinning face that came with Beast Gohan. On all these heads, these antennae, I guess, they are a harder plastic, so be careful with accidentally snapping that. It looks like a little bit of gappage where it's supposed to be ported, so that could be a little distracting. But the paint on all of these heads, just telling you right now, they are really, really clean. The creasing around the eyebrows, in between the eyes, underneath the eyes, all that is really great. All these heads are painted in this matte orange paint, and then we have the nice pointy ears with the really good sculpting going on in there. So now that I've gone over pretty much the paint overall, I'm going to just go quickly into what the rest of the heads look like. We get, besides the figure being packaged with the stern expression, we also get a gritting teeth expression looking straight forward. The teeth are really nicely painted. The pointy teeth are really nicely done. And again, the paintwork throughout everything, the printing on the eyes and the shading. Actually, there's not that much shading, but like the paint and creasing on the eyes, the bone structure on here too, and then that matte finish on here. Not really a finish, this is really a base coat. Is really clean. And then the screaming face looking forward, the eyes are a little bit smaller. They look really good. The paint, where you have the mouth, the tongue, and the teeth, all that is really clean and nicely separated. So I dig that a lot. Unfortunately, besides the next couple things I'm going to show you, this figure doesn't really come with that much. I wish it came with a stern expression or a different expression for Piccolo, the normal Piccolo. But we just get these slightly gripped hands with the paint on the fingernails. It's mostly in a glossy type of orange plastic, but the palm detailing is really good. The back of the hands has some nice detailing on the knuckles. And then we do get these more blast type hands. I wish this came with a blast effect. I actually don't remember what the color of the blast effects would have been. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. It's been a while since I've seen Dragon Ball. But these are more sprawled out. And again, the paint on the fingernails, nice and glossy black paint. The plastic, again, is pretty glossy orange, and that's the detailing on the palms. So I do think I keep saying Beast Gohan. I do think the actual orange Piccolo has a little bit of a lack of accessories, but what we do have is rather nice. I haven't looked back on my footage yet, but if I accidentally kept calling this Beast Gohan, I do apologize, because I don't know what's going on with me today. But orange Piccolo here looks fantastic. This is how he comes packaged out of the box. This stern expression, very clean. The paint on the eyes, the printing on there, again, really, really good. The detailing in between the mouth and chin is nice. There's actual, a crease going on right there where the mouth is with a really clean paint line. Again, these antennae. Is that the correct term? Anyway, again, these look like they're ported in there a little bit better, but there's still a little bit of gappage. And again, they're going to be a little bit stiff, so be careful with that. The ears are nicely pointed. One thing, I don't think it's picking up on this camera, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But when I was doing my Instagram live of this earlier today, this glossy orange on the chest doesn't match the matte orange here. Now the colors match, but the glossy and matte is a little distracting. Also on this particular head, depending on where the light shines on it, there's a little bit of glossiness, as if there's no paint rub or anything, but it's as if the plastic got marked, and so the paint, gets undone. Figma ends up happening with that a lot of the times with some of their figures, unfortunately, or at least the ones I had gotten. in the past. But the musculature on the back of the neck, all that is really clean. And then the pecs, too. You can't see it too well because this entire system gets in the way, which might be my biggest complaint. This is not as bad as Beast Gohan's, but it's still not perfect. I just wish it was all mostly sculpted, if I'm being quite honest. But you can kind of see a little bit of paint going on the chest, a little bit of red going on there, too. And since it's covered, they actually, I think, from what I can tell, it's mostly painted nicely, so there's that. And then these separate shoulder pieces, you know, for the articulation. There's a little bit of red going on in there. These are part of this. They've cut out, you know, a part of the shoulder here, but it's still stuck in there, so it will hinder articulation. I have him in the arms cross expression right now, and it's nowhere near as bad on Piccolo as it is here, where these are really, really hindered. I kind of wish they just never did it with this figure, if I'm being quite honest. It looks fine right now, but these will dig into that. I don't think it's that big of a problem here. And again, I have the arms cross expression on Beast Gohan, so I can't show it off that well right now. But the range of motion going back really isn't that bad. It's because there's these, you know, it helps that this is a bigger figure, and that this is a larger type of plastic. And they have a larger cut in here, so it's not that hindered. It's still a bit hindered, like the soft plastic wants to give it some resistance, but you can get a better range of motion, I think, at least, going on here than Beast Gohan. It was really not great on Beast Gohan. This, like, yellowish type of paint here is really clean. I think it's bleeding onto the red a little bit, but, like, the separation there is really good. One thing that might be a nitpick is that how they've sculpted this joint piece here. It probably would have looked weird if this was a smooth piece. I understand that. And so when they sculpt this whole thing, I do think it's going to get broken up. It can look a little ugly already when it's flush. But all things considered, I really don't hate how this is done. Like, their choice was to sculpt this so this is all consistent. I think they did as best of a job as they could with that. And it's, I mean, if you, like, hyperextend his elbow a little bit, yeah, that'll be undone, but, and then you do that, but, like, it's going to be covered anyway. So I actually really don't hate how that's done. Forgot to mention, the logo on the back is really clean. On the back here, you mostly just get, you know, molded purple, but with some nice wrinkles. You see that, how that's ported in there. On the front of the figure, the shading is fantastic. Looking throughout the purple on the pants, there's like this light purple, almost pinkish going on in here in the knees, on the thighs, around the hips, and even in the chest going on in here, up in here. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of like the Marvel Legends effect where they don't bother doing anything on the back. Because a decent number of Marvel Legends figures don't have paint on the back. But we do have, you know, legs with wrinkles sculpted there. There might be a little bit of shade. This could be a slightly different plastic compared to this. Maybe that's what's doing that. But, you know, it ends right here on the side of the outer thigh there. So I do wish they were getting more consistent with that shading. But looking closer at it, again, looking at the chest with all those wrinkles, you can't tell too much in the crotch area or the hips. But the thighs and the legs and the shins, definitely you get a nice look at that shading. It looks great. The belt piece here is just a solid black. That's fine. I think it was... Does his outfit change color? Because it's red here and it's... I'm not going to bother trying to complain about it. It's not a big deal. Wrinkles are fine here. The wrinkling throughout, again, is pretty good. I forgot to mention... Like, did I mention everything else? On the back of the arms here, I like the detailing and sculpting there. It does look a little smooth when you move this joint, but, like, it's really not that big of a deal. And then that looks pretty normal. And these are what the fists look like. Before I keep talking about the rest of the figure, just want to show I'll show off the fist. They have a little bit of paint of glossy black on the thumbnail there. And these little wrist pieces that are part of the sculpt. Again, this looks great. Now, when you bend this... Of course, there's not really going to be any shading in here. Maybe a little bit on the top here, but not much on the bottom. When you move it back, it's all consistent. So not that big of a deal to me. Giving you a better look at the back of the knees there. And then finally, looking at the boots. These more rounded boots that he has in the movie look really good. I think there was a tiny bit of paint. I could be wrong. I feel like there was a tiny bit of shading or just paint in here. These are mostly molded in this plastic, so they're a little bit glossy looking. But the wrinkles on there, all that still looks really good. That's what the bottom of the feet look like. Not much going on there. And one thing I do want to mention when it comes to the quality of the plastic. Now, when I do this, it does kind of want to move, and things look a little loose. And this is like, I don't know. It's a little loose, but when I shake it around, I got to shake it really hard to do that. So it might have a little bit of wobbly leg syndrome. But these keep a pose. I've moved this around. I have a whole Instagram live, 30 minutes of me posting this or posing this around, and it keeps a pose pretty well. Also, the inner legs here have sculpting in the joints covered. So, a few nitpicks. There's really no paint defects on this though. Like I'm really digging it. It's just, again, this soft plastic shirt is not perfect, and then a couple other things. But yeah, it's really good looking. Articulation's pretty good. One thing I forgot to mention when you're replacing the heads, you see that all the heads have a circular notch right there. Well, it's circular and then the notch, of course. It has this disc system right there with the notch on there, similar to how they did Krillin. You just swivel it like this, side to side. You have articulation going on the neck. All that combined range of motion allows for this to go up that far. It could definitely be better. Down, it wants to pop off a little bit if I move it too far down. Down could also be better, but not too bad. The side to side is fine, I think. Swiveling is fine. You get a little bit more articulation with swiveling and all that in the neck here too. So head's a little bit hindered, not awful though. A bit of a butterfly joint with some ball jointing going on here. I think a dumbbell joint in there. Again, it could be better. The soft plastic shirt gets in the way a bit, but I do think the back motion is actually fine. Forward motion, you gotta maneuver it a little bit. I might not be doing the greatest job either, but you can make it go forward. Some things might end up rotating to help this move forward, but anyway, going out that far, it could also be better. It can drop up and down just a little bit. Arms go all the way around just fine. There's still consistent sculpting going on there. That's actually kind of insane. So I gotta fix everything up to do the rest. Upper arm swivel, double joint elbow. It's a little over 90 just because of how beefy his arms are. And then we have the standard wrist articulation, swiveling here, ball joint at the hand basically, and then up and down you can make it go in and out there. Okay, again, there should be a ball joint here at the chest. You really can't move it at all. Unfortunately, you can't really swivel it at all because it's really hard to do, and I don't feel like taking this off right now. You're mostly going to get the range of motion at the waist. It's got a ball joint here, all the way around, swiveling. That's what it looks like going back. Even if you try to get that out there, yeah, it's not great. And forward, it could be better, yeah. T-joint legs, they don't want to kick out that far. Maybe you can make it drop down a little bit. I don't actually know. That's as far out as it can go for now. Doesn't really want to go back because of the butt sculpt. Pretty much perfect splits though. Upper thigh swivel going on here. The forward, this plastic piece gets in the way of going inward. Outward is fine. Double jointed knees, no problem with that. We have a swivel here. It feels like this is a separate plastic piece, but you get a swivel here. The down is actually not that great, unfortunately. Oh wow, the ankle articulation. I don't know if I'm not doing anything right, but that's really, yeah, that's not great because that just wants to pop off when I do that. I'll put that back on later. The ankle pivot's not great either. That rotation's not great, and then a toe hinge. So the feet are really not good, and then this is also really hindered. So the measurements might look a little inaccurate because I have to put the ruler right in front of him instead of beside him, but we're looking at a little bit over 19 centimeters. That will put this at about 7.5 inches tall for this figure. I think the sizing is accurate with Beast Gohan. I could be wrong. Scaling within this particular line is not the greatest, unfortunately. If they had to shrink down Orange Piccolo's size, it's because they needed to make sure that they can actually sell this without it being too big, I guess, because then you have a Kaido situation where that's like $200. Speaking of sizing, far left, Super Saiyan Broly, I believe that's still the largest S.H. Figuarts Dragon Ball figure still. Far right, Evil Boo, it's going to be a little bit taller, and you can see just how tall Orange Piccolo is to last year's Piccolo. Overall, once again, I really do like this figure a lot. I think my expectations were slightly low this time around because I wasn't super duper happy with Beast Gohan. Not that that's a bad figure, but it had some problems. This figure here is not perfect, though. It shares similar problems with Beast Gohan, just not as bad here. Mostly the soft plastic covering the torso really hinders articulation, mostly the upper torso. I think the ankles are also pretty hindered, unfortunately. I think the shoulders are slightly hindered, but not as bad as Beast Gohan's. The rest of the range of motion articulation here is really good. I think the shading could be more consistent on the back of the figure. There really isn't any shading, but what we do have with shading is really good. The orange only slightly looks inconsistent with the glossy chest with the more matte finish on the head sculpts. Everything about this figure when it comes to sculpting and detailing is really fantastic. I have no paint issues besides maybe a tiny little bit of like glossy scuffage on the mat on the head. It's really nice looking. Those head sculpts are really good. The hands are nice. The accessories that we get with Gohan are pretty cool. Again, I wish that we had a separate head sculpt for the regular Piccolo, maybe like a stern expression or something different. I'm not exactly sure. This figure is a bit more expensive. I can't remember. It was like maybe 80, 90 bucks, and it doesn't really come with that much itself. But what we do have here is a really nice, beefy figure that is really nicely done with a really good range of motion in most areas. Really nice paint, and a decent amount of accessories. You can't really get this, unfortunately, anymore. It's sold out from Premium Bandai. The aftermarket prices might not be great either. So good luck there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think of the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.